Good morning, it's Miss Jury, and I'm here with your weekly update. This is your first official weekly update, so I want to make sure you know what's going on. So here is your schedule. You should have this bookmarked somewhere, but if not, it's also found in the orientation folder under important graphic design documents, and it's the weekly schedule. So I have just rolled out week 2, and this is what it looks like. Once again, I have office hours, so if you need help after this, I'm available from 8:30 to 9 and 12:30 to 1. Just click on this Zoom link right here and ask me whatever you need. You can also just shoot me an email if that's easier, and I'll be available on Friday and Monday as well. So here's what's going on this week. First thing, you're already off to a good start because you watched the weekly update, which is this. Then you have 2 jobs. So you are going to complete your first project for graphic design, and that's the Elements or Principles infographic project. The directions are linked here, but I'm also going to show you how that works in Schoology. And then there's also a discussion post. This is just something that we'll be doing, like a quick discussion post that you will get credit for, 20 points just for participating every week. And so that we can stay engaged, especially since we're not doing a group Zoom necessarily, we can still be able to collaborate and talk about this week your favorite artists. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a graphic designer, it can be anyone. And if you don't have one in mind, then go start researching. Look up different art that might be interesting. It can be someone contemporary. It can be someone no one's ever heard of. It could be somebody you know, or it could be one of the masters. So totally up to you. Okay, and then I give you Thursday, Friday, Monday to be able to work on it. And Tuesday, you can work on it, but then you need to make sure it's all turned into Schoology. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna open up these directions. And I'm going to follow along with what it says. So it says open Unit 1, Intro to Graphic Design and Elements and Principles. And to make it easier, I'm actually going to do a split screen because I like to work like this. And I have my graphic design pulled up. There we go. In Schoology. It says go to Intro to Graphic Design, Elements and Principles. So there it is. Now you should have already done everything in the Intro to Graphic Design because that was last week. So now it says a couple different things. It says open Elements and Principles playlist. And here are a bunch of different links. There's a video, there's some different little articles, another video that are hopefully just going to familiarize you or remind you about what the elements and principles of art are. Okay, these are really important. We're going to refer back to these all the time. You refer to them in every single art class you'll ever take from elementary school through college. But just in case, since you probably haven't been looking at these over the summer, you can go back and you can just read through and watch these to become familiar. What I want you to do while you look through this playlist, though, is I want you to take notes in your sketchbook about each of those elements and principles and how you could represent that, how you can display that as a graphic designer through an infographic. Okay? We want to be able to visually show what it is, and we also want to write down what we think our definition is. So that is step 2. If we go over to step 3, it says to then open up the Creating Your Layout playlist. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to open Creating Your Layout playlist. And once again, there's some videos, there's some different things to watch, some really good information about how to make an interesting layout that's easy to read, but also going to be eye-catching. The idea with layouts and graphic design is that you need to be able to make sure that the reader is reading what they're supposed to read first and that they're understanding the flow. Okay? If you have everything on your infographic the exact same font, the exact same size, nothing's spaced out, it's all just the information's on there, yeah, it's still the same information, but they're not going to know what's most important. They're not going to be able to distinguish between what's a definition and what's the actual title. And so it's really important to create a good layout, use space, which is one of your elements, to be able to divide up, use color to be able to emphasize certain things. You can use different shapes, so through the different typography, the fonts you choose, you can help make something seem more important. And really being consistent throughout that. So if you use one font on your definitions, then make sure you're consistent with all that, and play with it, okay? Until you feel like it's easy to read, somebody could quickly look at it and understand each of those elements or principles. You can always double check by having somebody at home look at it and see if they can easily understand it and give you some feedback, okay? So that's the creating your layout playlist. Then it says to open the elements and principles infographic projects. So that is right here. And this is what you need for the actual projects. So you have a couple things in here. You have where you're going to actually turn it in. So it says submit it here. You have some examples. So these are from a previous graphic design class, and I thought they might be helpful to be able to see what some other students did. I'm not going to tell you, like, obviously I'm not going to tell you what their grades are, but you can go through and you can just see some different ideas of what people have done for this in the past. And then it says open the creating your infographic poster. This has your materials and directions. So here are the instructions, which are the ones that are also linked in your schedule that I'm using now. Here's some more examples, or these are the examples. There is a video about how to use Canva, because that's what you'll be using, and then a link to Canva itself, okay? So watch this little video, and then I want you to go to step 5 and click on the canva.com link. So you will open that up. Now, it won't let you work on it in Schoology, so it looks like there's an error, but really you just have to pop it out. And here you go, okay? Then, as the instructions say, it says log in with your school account. I'm already logged in. Watch that video, which is back here. Okay. And then familiarize yourself with this website, okay? So to make sure that you understand everything. Then you're going to create a design up here, and you want to do an infographic. And I'm going to decide one or the other to focus on. If you want to go for bonus, you can do elements and principles, but I only need to see one of those. So you can choose which of those you think are going to work for you. You can go through and you can look at different already made layouts on here. Now, if you choose to use something that's already made, I completely understand. They've got great resources, so why wouldn't we use it? The only thing is you need to adapt it to your own style and make it your own, okay? Because you are getting credit not for somebody else's layout. And I'm familiar with most of these layouts. So choose a layout and then edit it. Change the fonts, change the colors, rearrange things, okay? You obviously will need to change the images because none of these are just already made for elements and principles. So going back to our instructions, it says create your own original elements or principles. It needs to include your personal definition. It needs to include a visual representation. So whether that be, well, you can look at those examples, but it can be like a little photo or a graphic, or I've seen people like manipulate the actual word so that it represents visually what each of those words are. Once you are completely done, I need you to save and download. So right over here, you can click that and you can download it. And when you download it, it says I'm empty, so it won't let me do it. You can download it as a JPEG, just to your OneDrive or to your computer, and then open that back up, and you will copy and paste it We go back into Schoology. So back to the main project folder. So you will actually submit your image here in the class infographic so we can all see what other people did, but then you're also going to submit it right here. Open up this link. And this is where your self-reflection will be. So you will paste your image right here. So there's two places. One is just for the class media album, just for us to be able to see each other's. The actual submission is here. You copy and paste your image in. And then at the bottom, I need you to fill out the self-assessment rubric. Actually, 20 points of your grade is how you're filling this out, okay? And you're gonna do this for every single project, so it will become familiar. But you're gonna go through and you're just going to explain how you think you did on each of these. How clean was it? That's your craftsmanship. Is it finished? Is it neat? Did you take the time to make sure things are aligned where they're supposed to be aligned? Did you take the time to make sure that the font sizes are, you know, consistent throughout? Did you take the time to make sure the images look like they belong together? Okay. Creativity and impact. So how much did you manipulate that image? Did you just go with a layout that was already there and change a couple things, or did you really transform it into your own? Skill application, that's just, do you really understand what the elements and principles are, and are your examples and your definitions accurate? So if you're not sure about that, you can always go back to those videos and make sure. And then growth. Do you think you really pushed yourself to do something interesting for this? And just tell me how you really feel, okay? So you are going to type in these boxes however you feel. And then you can give yourself a score, but I will do the actual final score. I will adjust and I will give you some comments here at the bottom, okay, when I grade it. So that's it. When you go back, you'll submit that to Schoology. And then congratulations, you are done with your first project. So if you get confused, you can always go back to this video with your weekly update, or you can come back and read through these instructions. And then, as our schedule said, here we go. The schedule says you also need to post and engage in the weekly discussion. So once you're done with that whole project, you want to make sure that you come back to Schoology, go back to your Unit 1, and weekly discussion 1 is right here. It's asking you, do you have a favorite artist? Please share an image of their work and explain what you like about them. Feel free to comment. I loved seeing those comments back and forth last time. So those are the two main things you need to do your projects and then your weekly discussion. I will get those graded for you. And if you have any questions, let me know or pop into our Zoom. Have a great day.